Hello, welcome to our first lesson in core math for today. Today we'll look at one of the topics in geometry called circle theorem. Circle theorem. So we'll be looking at circle theorem. Now, to understand this topic, we'll first of all look at the parts of a circle. Look at the parts of a circle. Then, after that, we'll then look at the theorems. So we'll then look at the theorems. So basically, we'll be looking at the parts of a circle in this lesson. The next time we meet, we'll be looking at what? The theorem. So this is what we'll cover under circle theorem. So the parts of a circle, and then we'll move on to the theorems one after the other. Then we'll solve some questions under the theorems. Good. So let's begin the lesson with the parts of a circle. So parts of a circle. Parts of a circle. Good. Now, when you were in junior high school, even primary school, you learned about shapes and you came across circle. Now, when we talk of a circle, it's just one of the shapes, okay, and it has a center. So every circle has a center, that is a fixed point. Every circle has a fixed point. So you identify a circle basically by what? Its fixed point first. Then there is an equal distance between the center, that is the fixed point. Okay, there's an equal distance between the fixed point and what we call the circumference of a circle. So every circle has a center, and there's an equal distance between the center and what we call the circumference. The circumference is just the length of boundary of a circle. So the length of boundary of a circle, the boundary of the circle is what we call its what? Circumference. So any distance from the center to the circumference is equal. The distance from the center to the circumference of a circle is what? Equal. Good. So every circle has a center, that is what? Its fixed point. And then it has a boundary, a length of boundary called what? Circumference. So this is called the circumference. Circumference. Circumference of the circle, the length of boundary around the circle. Now we also said that any distance from the center to the circumference, it's an equal distance, and that equal distance, that is from this center to the circumference, is called radius. It's called radius. Radius. So every circle has a fixed point called the center, and then it has a length of boundary around it called the circumference. Now, any distance from the fixed point, that is the center, to the circumference is called what? Radius. And this distance is equal. It is equal. So the radius of a circle is equal. Okay, there's an equal distance. So from the center to the circumference, that distance is called what? The radius of the circle. Good. So center, circumference, radius. Center, circumference, radius. Good. Now let's look at another part of the circle. Good. Now, any line that is drawn within a circle and touches the circumference at 2 points is called a chord. A chord. So any line within a circle, so this is a line within a circle, that touches the ends of the circumference, like at 2 points. It touches the circumference at 2 points. So this point, let's say we label it as A, and then this point we label it as B. Now this line AB, it's a chord. Line AB is a chord because it is within a circle, and then it's a line within a circle, and it touches the circumference at 2 points, this point and this point. So it can also be from this point to this point, where we can label this point as D. Okay, so AD, line AD is a chord because it's a line within a circle, and it touches the circumference at 2 points, this point and this point. It can also be from here to here, where this will be labeled as C. So line DC is also a chord because it is a line within the circle, and it touches the circumference at 2 points. It touches the circumference at 2 points. You can also have from here to here. So BC is also a chord. It is a chord because it is a line that is within a circle, and it touches the circumference at 2 points. It touches the circumference at 2 points. Good. And as we know, the fixed point here will be the center of the circle. Good. So let's go over. So we said that every circle has a fixed point called the center, and then there is a length of boundary around the circle called the circumference. We also saw that there is an equal distance between the center and the circumference, and that equal distance is called what? The radius of the circle. So any distance from the center to the circumference is called what? Radius. Then we've also looked at a chord. We said that any line within a circle that touches the circumference at 2 points is called a chord. So this line AB is a line within the circle, and it touches the circumference of the circle at 2 points. This point A and then point B. The same way that BC is also a chord. It is a chord because it is a line within a circle, and it touches it touches the circumference of the circle at 2 points. At 2 points. The same way CD is also a chord. Good. Now let's look at the last parts of the circle we'll consider for today. The last part that we'll consider for today. Good. Now, this is the center of the circle. Now tell me, if I have a line from here to here, which passes through the center, if I have this line, can this line, let's label it X, and then this one as Y. Is this line a chord? Is line XY a chord? And why? So let me give you 10 seconds to think about it. Is line XY a chord? And why? So think about it. Okay, I hope you've thought about it. So now, if your answer is yes, line XY is a chord, you are right. Line XY is a chord, but it is a special type of chord. It is a special type of chord. It is a chord because it is a line within a circle and it touches the circumference at 2 points. So line XY is a chord, but it is a special type of chord, and we call it a diameter. So a special type of chord that passes through the center of the circle is called what? A diameter. So it is a chord, but what makes it special is that it passes through the center of the circle. So it is the only chord that passes through the center of the circle. So a diameter is a chord that passes through the center of the circle. Diameter is a chord that passes through the center of the circle. So this is a diameter. A diameter. A diameter. So it can be from here through to the circle and then here. So if this place is A, this place can be B. So line AB is a diameter. It is a diameter because it is a chord passing through the center of the circle. Good. So students, let's recap what we've learned today. So we said that every circle has a center, which is a fixed point. And then there is an equal distance between the center and then the length of boundary around the circle called the circumference. So there's an equal distance between the center and the circumference. So we call that equal distance what? The radius of the circle. So from the center to the circumference, there is an equal distance, and that equal distance is what we call the radius of the circle. Then the length of boundary around the circle is called the what? The circumference. Then we also looked at a chord. We said that a chord is a line within a circle that touches the circumference of the circle at 2 points. So this line AB is a chord. It's a chord because it is a line within a circle and it touches the circumference of the circle at 2 points. It touches the circumference of the circle at 2 points. BC is also a chord. BC is also a chord. It's a line within a circle that touches the circumference at 2 points. It's a chord. Then we also looked at a special type of chord called the diameter. A special type of chord called the diameter. So we said it is a special type of chord because it is the only chord that passes through the center of the circle. It is the only chord that passes through the center of the circle. So AB is also a diameter. It's a special type of chord. Good. So this is how far we'll end our lesson today. The next time that we'll meet, we'll be looking at the theorems one after the other. There are about 8 theorems per our syllabus. There are about 8. So we'll be looking at them one after the other the next time we meet. Thank you.